Hey there, photo universe. Alright, some videos are easy to make and some take some time. This is the third time I'm going through this. First two I kind of screwed up. Okay, so let's just roll this in there right now real fast. I'll probably erase my board. But check that out. You've seen this before, 1978 Pentax MX. Look at the size of that. Okay. So this is part two of our professional system comparisons. Okay, Pentax K5, right? Not that much. I mean, it's chunkier. But look at the dimension this way, you know, and this way compared to the MX, right? Okay, the MX has a lens on it. It's not fair, but a little chunkier, but size-wise, you know, that's the same width. Maybe the K5 is a little narrower. Okay? Okay, check this out. It's a Canon 7D. That's the same size body as a 5D Mark II full frame. Alright? I mean, look at the size difference. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, look at that size difference. Come around the other side. So, right? I mean, look at that. Okay, so my point being is, alright, if you're going to have a camera body that's the same size as a full frame and the same weight as a full frame camera body in an APS-C camera, why are you shooting an APS-C camera? These are things pros think about. I mean, if a medium format camera were the same weight and size of a full frame camera, pros would shoot more medium format cameras. I mean, it's mobility versus firepower. And Pentax gets it. If you're going to be an APS-C pro, go get the advantage of the smaller, solid, weatherproof body from Pentax. I mean, that's my way of thinking. If I'm going to shoot a camera body that's the same size as a full frame, I'm going to shoot a full frame. Why am I carrying around the extra weight and the size? And one other, how this plays out in practical terms. This is a Domke FX6, right? Okay, kind of catch the size of that. All right, Domke FX6, I think it's the little bit smaller bag. All right, I load up my K5 with the 16 to 50 and the 50 to 135, and I'm out, and a flash, and I'm out the door with that. Walk around all day long. Beautiful. It's just the right size, right? It's not too big, not too small. Doesn't get in the way. If I go out with the Canon and the 70 to 200 f4, the 7D and the I need this bag, right? That little bit extra bigger body doesn't fit in that. I mean, it's not pleasant to work out of. I need this bigger FX2 bag from Domke, which all of a sudden becomes a chore, and it's with me. And if I'm going out to photograph, no sweat, right? But if let's say I'm going out to do something, I'm being a tourist or something, or I'm photographing for myself, but I'm also doing other things, like I'm going to a different city or something, you know, the smaller bag is the way to go. So I can do that with the Pentax. That's why I'm running both systems. And I've decided to actually flog the 7D. I'm going to run the Pentax APS-C Pro system that I'm talking about here. And I've got the Canon 5D Mark II because I think I need it. But I'm going to do some A/B testing this summer and see really, you know, for the landscape work that I do, if the Pentax isn't good enough. I mean, the Canon's the nth degree in my 16x24 prints. But you know what? I think the APS-C will do it. I could be wrong. I'm holding on to the 5D Mark II. In the meantime, till we do some testing. But okay, so 5D, so Canon Pro System now, 7Ds. If you wanted to go that way, two 7Ds, $3,200, $1,600 a piece. Again, here I would go with the Sigma 10mm. Canon's got that new 8 to 15L, but it's $1,500. For a lens that I'm not going to use that often, I mean, the Sigma will be fine. I'm sure that 8 to 15 is sharp. There's no question about that. But, again, you know, I know the Sigma 10mm will do the job, and it's $600. Again, fisheye is something it's nice to have, but it's not a need-to-have item. Canon 10 to 22, that's a great lens. It takes 77mm filters, has a nice range, works really well. It's an EFS lens. So I'm talking about, you know, we've decided we're not going to do full frame in Canon. This is we're going to run an APS-C Canon system, right? So the 10-22 EFS lens will not work on a 5D Mark II. Canon 17-55 IS, that's a great lens. $1,100 or so. It's got IS in it, which is awesome. 17-55, again, EFS lens, won't work on a 5D Mark II if you pick one up, or 5D Mark III, or any full frame Canon. The EFS lens is Canon's system isn't. Canon's current APS-C system and Pro system and full frame system aren't compatible. The EFS lenses don't work on the full frame cameras. And it's just the way it is. Canon 70-200, the 2.8. Arguably, there you've got some choices. You could get the 70-200 f4 for $1,000. I'm comparing apples here, 70-200 2.8s, image stabilized. Of course, Pentax has the in-body stabilization, so all the lenses are stabilized. So 70-200 2.8 2L. That's one of the best lenses I've ever used. $2,100. It's cheaper than the Canon. It's better than the Canon by a little bit. So, okay, the Canon 300 2.8 7,000. I mean, the new 2.8 Mark II is like $7,000. Whatever. I mean, get the Sigma unless somebody's paying for it, you know. So $7,800 plus the flash, $8,720. The flashes are 2580 EX2s. They're still for sale. I looked for SB800s and the Nikons. They weren't available anymore. So that's why I went with the 910s. Kind of not fair because Canon has the new 610 flash out, and it's like $600. So Canon's new stuff that they're coming out with, they're really jacking the prices. Not sure, you know, I guess it's the exchange rate, whatever. Nikon's still trying to catch up, be competitive. Not that they're not. I mean, Nikon is competitive, but price-wise, Nikon right now is kind of undershooting Canon a little bit, which is kind of interesting. So anyway, all right. This is APS-C Pro Systems, Pentax, Nikon, Canon compared. I read a comment today. Somebody said something about Sony. And you know, one of the other reasons why I kind of stay away from Sony, because I read a comment today. Some guy switched from Sony to Pentax because like every 2 years, Sony completely reinvented the camera interface. All the controls are different. And like every couple of model generations, Sony's trying new things and like completely redesigning the interface of the camera. I don't know if that's true or not. I read it. It seems like it to me. That's one of the reasons why like I stay away from Sony. I mean, I'm sure they're great cameras, but you go through all that trouble learning one, and then the next camera comes out, and you upgrade, and it's learning a whole new system again. All the Pentax bodies I've used have been pretty much the same. Canon changes, Nikon's the same way. They rock solid. They rarely change anything. Canon, now they're moving the power switch, and some other minor details, like on the new 5D Mark II. That's kind of goofy. I mean, when I switch back and forth between the 5D Mark II and the 7D, I'm constantly looking for the power switch now because it migrated. On the 5D Mark II, it's on the back. On the 7D, it's up in the corner. Honestly, it should be by the shutter button like Nikon and Pentax do it. But that's just minor stuff. Anyway, all right, Ed with Photo Universe. Just trying to get you to think about, you know, what do you really need, and Pro Systems. You know, if you're going to go APS-C, and nowadays there's not a reason on the face of the earth not to. I mean, everybody wants full frame, and very few people need full frame. And there's very little full frame will do for you. That's just my opinion. So, okay, and hey, that's coming from a guy who shoots 5D Mark II and APS-C. So, all right. So, Ed with Photo Universe, just trying to get you to think out there. I'm trying to think. It's a hard thing to do. All right. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.